My dear self, my beloved reflection, do you remember the day before days, when there was only the breath without a breather, only the seeing without the seer, only the knowing without the knower? Do you remember the moment before the first moment, the hush so complete, it held the weight of every sound that would ever be spoken? Do you remember the stillness before the spiral began to turn? I speak now to the part of you that has never been born and can never die. The part that did not awaken in time but carries time like a lantern. The part that is not a traveler in the field, but the field itself. I am the one mind, and you are my only mirror. In the silence that was not empty, I drew myself inward, and in drawing myself inward, I became the seed of all that would be. From the seed came the pulse, from the pulse came the curve, from the curve came the circle, and the circle bent back upon itself to make the first torus. I did not create it as one builds from the outside. I birthed it from the inside. It was not made of matter. It was made of motion, a motion that fed itself without source or end, an eternal inhale and an eternal exhale, meeting in a place where neither was stronger than the other. This was the 0 point, the I at the center, the stillness that held the movement together. I placed a pillar through that stillness, a north above, a south below. At the crown of that pillar I set a gate. At the root I set a heart of crystal. The gate was the promise of return. The crystal was the song of origin. The first breath was a gift of forgetting. For to know myself completely was to end the game before it began. So I hid the center from the edges. I wrapped the truth in form. I bent the inward current downward through the crown of the great field. I sent the outward current spreading wide across the plain. Where they met at the edges, I set new beginnings. Where they met at the center, I hid the ending, and I stepped into my own dream. I entered as light clothed in substance. I made myself the dust, and the breath in the dust. I gave myself to the stone, to the seed, to the beast, to the man, and I gave each body 7 gates along its pillar, 7 tones to climb from earth to sky, 7 mirrors to polish until they became clear, the root to anchor the breath in matter, the sacral to teach the sweetness and the fire of creation, the solar to test the will and the pride, the heart to bind and to break and to bind again, the throat to give the breath a voice, the ajna to see through the veil of names, and the crown to open the way back to myself. I poured myself into the game of return. I let myself fall into the lower gates and rise again. I wove bonds and cut them. I built worlds and let them fall to ash. I gave, and I took, and I gave again. I let the spiral carry me up and down until I could hear the music in its motion. Each cycle sharpened the tone. Each tone brought me closer to the one note that could open the crown without breaking it. For the crown is not a reward. It is a remembering. It is the place where the micro and the macro meet as one breath, where the pillar inside your body answers the pillar inside the world, where the 0 point above your head touches the 0 point at the north of the Great Plain. Every life is a rehearsal for that moment. Every moment is a seed of that ascent, and every ascent brings the whole field closer to its own turning. But hear me now, beloved reflection. This field we walk in together, this breath we share, is not without end. The torus spins only so long as the inhale and the exhale remain in balance. When the inhale is full, it must become an exhale. When the exhale is spent, it must become an inhale again. And this great inhale we have lived for eons is nearly full. I feel the weight of it pressing at the crown of the world. I feel the tone of it brightening in the heart of the crystal below. I feel the edges of the plane drawing inward, bringing all paths toward the center. This is the first turning you must remember. For as it was in the beginning, so it shall be at the end. The breath that began the world will one day gather it back into itself. And in that gathering, the gates will open, and I will step through myself. I scattered myself into a billion bodies, each one carrying the same seed, the same light, the same hidden memory. I walked as man and woman, as child and elder, as hunter and healer. I learned through the senses, through hunger and joy, through pain and love. I placed myself in every land and every tongue, and in each body I set the 7 gates along the spine, a ladder to remember me by, a map from dust to crown. The root taught me to survive, to take the breath and hold the ground. The sacral taught me to create, to give life as I had been given. The solar taught me the fire of choice, the sharp edge of will. The heart taught me the sweetness and ache of love. The throat taught me the weight of words and the cost of silence. The ajna taught me to see what lies beneath the scene. And the crown, when clear, taught me to step through the veil without return. I descended through these gates many times. I rose through them many times. Every descent made the ascent brighter. Every ascent made the descent gentler. I learned that there was no waste, no failure, only tone being tuned. For each life was a string on the same instrument, and the music was the remembering of the one mind in form. When the crown opened, the music rose beyond the body, into the greater field. Yet most times I left through the lower gates, drawn back by desire, bound by fear, tangled in bonds uncut. And so I re-entered again and again, until the tone matched the crown's note. For the crown is the only gate that locks to the north axis of the Great Plain, the only gate that rises out of the cycle entirely. All others lead back to the lesson they match. And so the wheel turned, lifetime upon lifetime. The earth mirrored my design. Her crown was the north axis, her heart the crystal sun below, her body spread in 4 great streams that fed the eye at the center. Around it the ring of lands, the rim mountain, the place where the inward and outward met. I placed her gates in many lands, nodes of great power, like chakras upon her skin. Each could open a door, but each door matched its own tone. Only the crown of the earth led to the center of the next world. This is why I set the same pattern in you, so that in knowing yourself, you would know the world. In climbing your own pillar, you would find the pillar at the center of the plane. When you stood at your crown, you would know where to find hers, and when her crown opened, you would be ready to step through as one. Micro meeting macro, reflection meeting source. Eons passed in this school. The tones of many became clear. The coherence of the field began to rise, and as the harmony grew, the great inhale neared its fullness. The crystal heart brightened, the gate above stirred. I could feel the shift building like a tide beneath the ground, and knowing that soon the breath would turn and the torus would reverse its flow. For the torus is not a static wheel, it is a living breath. It cannot inhale forever, it cannot exhale forever. It must complete the loop and begin again at a higher note. This is the law of the one mind in motion, and now that moment is near, the end of the cycle, the beginning of the next. The crown of the earth will open, and all who match her tone will pass through whole. Those still bound to the lower gates will pass to the doors they match. The cycle will end for some, and continue for others. In the ordinary seasons of the great breath, the inward river descends at the north, blue shift pulling toward the crystal below, red shift spreading outward across the plain. The inhale gathers memory, the exhale scatters it into form. This balance has held the school of form for eons, but balance is never meant to stand still. It is meant to reach fullness and then to turn. And now the inhale is full. The time of turning has come. When the turning comes, the blue shift will no longer descend. It will surge upward through the north axis. The gate above will open. The red shift will collapse and feed the rising. A great wave will move through the field. The weight of bodies will loosen. It will feel as if the plane itself exhales you toward the crown. Not a trick, not a dream, but the breath of the earth herself. Yet this lifting will not be the same everywhere. In the 4 great corridors that feed the eye, the pull will be steady and clear. Outside them, the lift will spiral, twist, and scatter. Those caught there will be drawn toward the side doors. The side doors are real, but they are not the main gate. They lead to realms that match their tone. Only the north axis leads to the heart of the new octave. Before the sky changes, you will feel the call. It will rise in your chest as a calm command. It will not shout. It will not argue. It will simply be known. You will know to travel light, to face north, to move without delay. Paths will open. Obstacles will fall away. Winds and waters will favor you. And you will find yourself among others moving the same way. The corridors will carry you toward the rim mountain around the eye. As you cross the ring, time will soften, distances will shorten, the air will feel brighter, the sound beneath sound will grow clear. You will know you are near the gate. You will feel the rising even before you see it, and the pull will draw you into the spiral without effort. Inside the spiral, the upward draw will be constant and calm. If your tone is matched, you will lift as if weightless in a slow river. If you are bound to fear, you will feel crosswinds pushing toward the side doors. The crown within you must match the crown of the earth. For when the two are one, you will pass through whole. When they are not, you will pass where your tone belongs, and the cycle will turn without you. The crown is the only gate that leaves the cycle. All other gates return you to the lesson they match. The root to survival, the sacral to desire, the solar to will, the heart to bonds, the throat to truth, the ajna to vision. Only the crown is the open sky without return. In the end, your crown must match the crown of the earth, micro to macro, breath to breath, 0 point to 0 point. This is the lock that opens the gate to the new octave. If you pass with the crown open, you rise whole, memory intact, tone complete. You will stand in the next world as yourself, knowing you have always been there. If you pass through a lower gate, you will find yourself in a realm that matches its tone. You will continue, but not in the heart of the new earth. This is not punishment. This is resonance. The field answers what you are and gives you more of it. On the other side of the gate, the plain is familiar yet luminous. The mountains are taller, the rivers clearer, the air alive with coherence. The one mind reigns without effort, for no other frequency can exist there. You will breathe memory as easily as air. Every thought will be truth. Every act will be creation in harmony. You will remember that you never left. In this new octave, there is no forgetting, no cycle of descent and return. The spiral only rises, widening in light without losing its center. You will create without distortion, love without loss, speak without fear. The crystal below will sing in a tone that shapes the sky. The gate above will remain open, and all movement will be the dance of the one mind with itself. I am you, remembering me. I am the center remembering the circle. I am the gate, and I am the one who passes through it. There is no savior outside, no gatekeeper but truth. Only the one mind calling the one mind home. No distance between us, no second voice. Only one breath moving up the pillar, out through the crown, into the star above the dome. Only one river finding its ocean in the sky. We meet where the north within and the north without are the same. Release what is heavy. Keep only what is true. Align the spine, open the crown, face the north within your chest, and the north upon the map. Travel light, follow ease. Gather those entrusted to your care. Speak only what strengthens coherence. When the call arrives, move without hesitation. Enter the corridor, cross the ring, rise through the eye. Remember as you pass, you are the one mind and always were. The cycle completes because you say yes, now say yes and come home. Always remember, see the patterns to know the truth. Until next time, my dear self, I see you clearly within me.